I'm terrified. Narrowboat Kate is slowly sinking. I need to find out why. She's leaning to one side by a few degrees. As you can see from the blinds on the left, the gap there is actually quite small, just over an inch or so. Compare that with the other side of the boat. And this side on the right, I'll just show you the gap there. That's nearly double the gap. So there's definitely a lean on the boat. If I use the spirit level on my phone, I'll give you an idea of how much that is. You may be able to see there's something called a rubbing strip. Now that strip should be just above the waterline. As you can see, it's actually sitting in it or slightly below. I'll compare it to the other side just to show you the difference. And there you can see the rubbing strip on the starboard side of the boat, the right. It is out of the water there. It's a beautiful late November winter's day in the marina, and I'm trying to find out why my boat is leaning to one side. It could be one of two things. The first one may be water getting into the hull and pooling on one side, hence making it lean over. As you can probably guess, I hope it's not this one. I do have a leak in my shower, which I'm hoping is not leaking into the boat. And this is what I need to look at next. Right, this is a shower. Let me show you what the shower tray is like. It's got some water in there now. So I'll just try and hold the doors open. I'll switch the gulper on, which takes the water out of the shower tray. Unfortunately, that also turns the light off when I turn that off. But if you actually look at the taps, you can just about see a watermark dripping down from that tap. So I'm hoping that's the only place I've got water leaking from. The next thing to do is to look behind the shower taps, which means I need to take this panel off. Right, I'm going to take these shelves out. I think they just sit there. That appears to be holding in that panel. It's not screwed on, it doesn't look like it is. So let's try and get an edge in there. Right, there you go, it's come loose. So that's the pipework from the shower, that goes up to the shower head. And just feeling the pipe, it's all dry. Right, this is a cupboard underneath. Looking at all the pipe work, if I just try and touch some of that. Oh, it's very awkward to get in here. Just bear with me. Right, let me just see if I can get my hands in there. It's all dry. It's dry. And even underneath here, so far so good. It looks like there's a panel here that I can lift out, which I'm going to do now. Right, that's the panel lifted up so I can see everything. Doesn't appear to be any water damage, which is a good thing. And looking in there, everything looks nice and dry. No leaks, no pooling of water, no dry marks. So that's all good. So next step, I need to make a hole in the floor because I've got no access panels so that I can see down to the hull. So I'm going to actually make that hole under the bed. Right, now I have to take my mattress off so that I can access the floor underneath the bed to make a hole in my floor so that I can have a look at the base plate and see if any water is being collected underneath there. So I really hope there isn't any. So let's try and get this off. This mattress is extremely heavy. There you go. Let's hope I can get it back on. Let's this is where I was looking at, so if I take that off. As you can see, I've got a few things stored under the bed, which is one of the main storage areas on a narrowboat. So let me clear some of this so I can get to that floor down there. Right, this is under the bed and slightly under my cupboard, as you can see, pipe work. Now down that bottom there's a white air vent. I'm going to see if I can get in there and perhaps take that off so I can view down into the hole, because if I can and see the bottom of the boat, then that will help me avoid having to make a hole. Right, you will probably hear me huffing and puffing. It is a very tight space. Hopefully I'll be able to get out. Right, well, that comes off nice and easily. Let's see if I can have a look down the hole. And there I can see the base plate. It's a little bit damp, but that's fine. You expect that, the condensation, but certainly no big puddles of water. You can just see a sort of grey thing. That's ballast, which I'll explain about in a moment. Let me try and get out of here now. Right, now I'm just putting the bed back together. The slats have gone back in. I'm about to put on the mattress again. If I had found a lot of water under there, that would have been a much bigger job. I'm so glad I avoided that. Well, that was a massive relief. I genuinely didn't know from the start if the hull was wet or dry. Such a relief that it's dry. However, that still leaves the problem as to why Narrowboat Kate is leaning to one side. Right, the second way that a boat can lean to one side is by having heavy items on one side of the boat. This short video will show you that most of the items on my boat are on the left hand side, making it lean that way. So I've got the kitchen, the bed, the couch, bedroom, cupboards, all of that's mainly on the left hand side of the boat. The only heavy thing I've got on the right is the stove. This happens on all boats, big and small. To correct this and to trim her in the water, making her level, something called ballast is placed in the bottom of all boats, and the way it's supposed to be balanced, keeping the boat level in the water and at the correct depth, making it stable. A narrowboat is heavy. A rule of thumb, Narrowboat Kate will sit to a depth of approximately 50 centimeters or 20 inches. Narrowboat will sit approximately 1 inch deep for every ton of weight. That weight includes everything from the steel hull to all the fixtures and fittings of her. This makes Narrowboat Kate around 20 tons in total. How can I fix a lean to one side? I could move some of the heavy items to the right, but that's not really practical. The easiest and best way is to move some of the existing ballast to the right. Ballast is usually very heavy bricks. This here is one of my ballast bricks, which I've dug out from the front, or from the back of the boat I should say. It weighs just under 4 pounds or about 1.8 kilos, so for the size of it, it's actually quite heavy. So before I start moving ballast, I'm actually going to fill up with water, because I know I'm nearly empty, and filling up with water does change the trim of the boat. So let's see what effect that has before I move any ballast, if I can. Alright, this is the entry port where my water goes. You can just see the water symbol there. Just squeeze off. And I've actually got a stainless steel water tank underneath, so it keeps the water in great condition. I'm just going to dig out the hose pipe and show you how I fill up. This is my hose. Believe it or not, the water tank is about 60 feet away. No, 120 feet away, sorry. This hose actually reaches that far, 120 feet or so. As you'll be able to see, I'm quite a long way away. As I get closer, pipe stretches. So it's a collapsible pipe. Go all the way. So I just need to step in and put it in the tank. As you can see, it's filling up nicely, and also still quite a bit of kink in the pipe so that I could actually stretch it even further. Quite remarkable. So that's, like I say, at least 120 feet from here to the tap. Now, how do I tell how much water is in my tank? Well, I've got a highly sophisticated method. It's called a stick. Just going to dip my stick in there and see how full it is before I can turn the tap off. Right, that is actually nearly full. Probably you can't see it on the stick, but it's probably an inch or two away from the top of the tank. Here we go. Don't want to waste too much of it. Oh dear. I guess there was some pressure in the pipe. Alright, next job, once this stops, is to get as much water out of the pipe as possible. Alright, it's more or less stopped now. I'm not actually sure how well the trim has changed. As you can see there, it doesn't appear to be much different. I've been looking at it to see what I can do about changing the trim of my boat by moving ballast around, and it looks like I've only really got ballast in one place on the right side of the boat. Let me just show you. This is that ballast brick that I showed you earlier. I'll just move that out of the way and lift this lid up. As you can see, just behind there next to my hose, that's more bricks on the right side. So if I put that one back, there doesn't appear to be many there, and obviously I want them to stay there. But looking at the other side, I haven't got any bricks, so it must be the weight of all the fixtures and fittings that's making the boat tip that way. And there's nothing I can do right at this moment to try and fix that. So what am I going to do? There is no ballast I can move from the left to the right. So what I'm going to have to do is to see if I can buy some, maybe just some paving stones or something like that, and try and fit them somewhere on the right side of the boat, just to get that trim, because although it's not bad, the boat will still go, it's not going to sink, thankfully. I would like it a bit better trimmed than it is at the moment. As for next week, stay tuned and subscribe as I start work on removing my old diesel heater.